Hello everyone, Angry Demon Bowser here. Something a little different. Leave Luck to Dreamland is a little series I'm gonna do for just a couple of days. Just to tell my story about gaming and why it's important to me. And especially Nintendo, because, you know, I've been playing most Nintendo games since, childhood, like 11 years ago. I got my first Game Boy, and you know, I'm just gonna do this little thing where I'll just play some games that Iwata has programmed or co-developed at HAL Laboratories or at Nintendo in general. So yeah, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not the best Kirby player, I know. So yeah, let's begin. So when I was 11 years old, no, not 11 years old, what I'm talking about, when I was 7 years old, I've always wanted a video game console, and my mom always told me, like, no, video games are bad for your health, and I couldn't be asked. I mean, all my friends were playing, like, all the cool Nintendo shit, like, everyone had Melee, everyone had... Well, I don't know if everyone had Melee at the time, but the GameCube was certainly out, I think. And, you know, I felt connected to it. All those games seemed like so much fun, and the only way I could actually experience video games is by watching commercials, because none of my friends had video games either in their homes. So when I became 7 years old, I got my first console. I got my Game Boy Advance SP with the backlit light thing, and I was totally hooked on the thing. Like, my gosh, it's the best thing ever. And I would just sit on the bus with the thing, just play some games. Like, my favorite game to play was Super Mario Brothers 3. That's like my most favorite GBA game, or actually a port ever made. So yeah, I grew more attached to games from that point on. I got myself a GameCube at like Sinterklaas. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a Dutch celebration that we have here. And it came packed with Mario Kart, and you know, the thing is, all these things were around there ever since Iwata actually took the role of Yamauchi, because Yamauchi was getting old and they needed someone fresh and new, and they did. They got Iwata on the team, and that's and I honestly can't think of anyone different. I mean, okay, Miyamoto, but Miyamoto wants to make games, and maybe Satoru Iwata did too, but he could actually provide us things. Like, he would listen to the fans, he actually takes notes, which I don't see a lot of, like, game developers these days do. So yeah, I basically didn't know about this man when I was like 7. I just played the games, and I think a lot of people got the same thing until like E3 2008, where the memes dropped, as I would say. But yeah, that's my first experience with video games. I grew attached to them since day one. I can't stop playing games now. I still have the consoles that I used to play with, except for my original Game Boy Advance SP that was stolen at school, unfortunately, along with my games. So yeah, this was like a little experience. I don't really talk about myself a lot, so maybe this is like good news for you or whatever. So yeah, well, if you guys are actually watching this, let me know, what was your first, like, experience with video games or Nintendo in general? Let me know in the comments.